Hey, it's Shawn Hart of Post-Purchase Pro, and I just ran into my friend Rich Goldstein at ASGTG. What an amazing show, right, Rich?
Yeah, Shawn, great to see you.
So what advice does Rich have for sellers entering this new year of 2023 in the landscape of Amazon?
Well, if you're considering selling, if you're at all thinking that selling your Amazon business might be on the horizon, it's so important to get your IP arranged, to get it all set up. For a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, it's you will get more money when you sell your business if you have IP. And you will get an ROI on almost anything you spend on IP when you go to sell your business.
Okay.
But also, I've seen way too many deals where not having the IP was a deal killer, where not having the trademark for your brand just killed the deal. Someone had a good amount of sales, multi-million dollars worth of sales or profit.
But nothing proprietary?
But nothing proprietary.
Oh, wow.
And so what would have potentially been an 8-figure deal, except for the fact that the would-be acquirer got cold feet because they realized that there were potential issues over the branding. And therefore, if they were to purchase the company, they might not get an ROI.
So having the IP then, Rich, is what you're saying, could act as a multiplier to the enterprise value.
Yes.
And not having it could scare some more sophisticated buyers away from the deal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about a case study without giving specifics, obviously, of, like you said, you had a seller who was doing multi-million dollars,
Yeah.
but then they couldn't get to the deal table because they had no IP? So when should I start working on then, Rich? When should I start working on patents, trademarks, and IP?
Okay, so really when it comes to trademarks, two different things, trademarks versus patents. Okay. When it comes to trademarks, at an earliest stage is practical to apply for trademark. One of the reasons is that trademarks are a lot less expensive than patents.
Okay.
So for a couple $1,000s, you can get trademark application searched and filed, and if you're investing almost any amount of money into that brand, it's a no-brainer to just file your trademark as early as possible. Okay? When it comes to patents, you're going to spend quite a bit more on patents. So you might want to be more judicious with what products you actually focus on. If you have something that really is differentiated, then it pays to at least take a look at whether you have something that's potentially patentable.
Okay.
But also, you need to do it at an early stage with patents. That's kind of the double-edged sword of it, is like your resources are scarce. It might not be the best investment is to invest in a patent at an early stage, but the only time to do it is at an early stage. So you should at least take a look at whether you've got something valuable. I mean, if it's essentially a Me Too product and there's not really that much about it that's patentable, then probably better to skip it for this product and then think in terms of patents the next product you launch when you really do differentiate your product.
Okay, Rich, so solid advice. So what if my goal is not to exit the business? Should I go ahead and file for IP so that I can have some protection from hijackers and what we call the Asian dragon?
Yes, well, absolutely. I mean, it pays, and a lot of times it's the difference between the business that succeeds and the one that fails is whether they have the IP to prevent other people from kind of stepping on your listing, getting into your territory, and also to be defensive when someone is coming after you and saying well, you're stealing my IP.
Okay.
So it can really make the difference. But all of that said, when you go to exit, that's when the real payoff is.
So what are the first steps? I'm a seller, things are starting to work out for me, I'm starting to scale. What are the steps? I mean, I know that your firm can do this for me.
Yeah.
What's step one? How do I contact Rich from House Goldstein, and what are my first steps?
Okay, if you want to contact us and find out if it's a match to work together with us, I send you to Larry Slavin from my team. He talks with all of the potential clients that we have to see if there is something for us to work on, to see if it's a match for us to work together.
Okay.
It's really easy. You go to speaktolarry.com and you can set up speaktolarry.com and you can set up an appointment with Larry. That's the real great entry point. If you want to learn more about patents and how that works, though, There are great resources on my website, including videos that explain how it works.
What is that website?
GoldsteinPatentLaw.com.
GoldsteinPatentLaw.com, okay, or SpeakToLarry.com. No obligation, right?
No obligation.
And
I mean, really, Larry is just, a lot of people report that they call a patent lawyer's office and they don't get a return phone call. Like people that talk to Larry, they say, like, I've called 9 different lawyers and no one has called me back. And so and truthfully, we don't have the time. We're working on cases. We don't really have the time to talk with people about the potential projects. And so that's why I hired Larry that's his job, is to take the time with people and find the few that are a match to work with us.
So TalkToLarry.com will actually do a dive into your business.
SpeakToLarry.com.
Oh, Speak to Larry. SpeakToLarry.com. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah.
No obligation. Go to SpeakToLarry.com and then find out if IP or what Rich and his firm does is good for your business.
Absolutely.
What else should folks be thinking about in 2023, Rich? I know that you have numerous clients that you work with. What are you hearing out there in the trenches that we should be aware of?
Well, I mean, I think people are being cautious because they're not sure where the economy is headed. But again, they're realizing that it's all about good decisions, right? It's like where in the past you were able to kind of feel your way through the situation, maybe not do everything perfectly, and still have a successful business, have a sellable business. You really need to dot the I's and cross the T's more than ever.
Of course you're going to say that, being in law.
Right.
Dot the T's, cross the I's.
But
right?
not even with the legal stuff, with regard to the products that you choose, with regard to all of the other aspects of managing your account. It's just become critical. And when it comes to the exits, comes to the acquisitions, they're being scrutinized that much more closely. Whereas a year and a half ago, you would have almost any account was sellable because the aggregators just wanted to buy whatever they could. They were hungry for deals. Now they're scrutinizing the deals, and they're really looking for account health. They're looking for other factors that show that someone has dotted the I's and crossed the T's in their business, whether it's with the legal stuff or anything else. Like, they want to look for people that are running a solid business before they acquire it.
Interesting. So we're paying attention, focusing on the details, right?
Yes.
Instead of trying to scale and do all this glitz and glam.
Right.
What we're doing is focusing on fundamentals, crossing the D's,
Methodical.
dotting the I's, being methodical.
Yep.
And keeping the skeletons out of your closet, something so we don't have to go defend ourselves when we go to exit.
Yep.
Real solid advice. So again, the URL, SpeakToLarry.com.
SpeakToLarry.com.
And how do folks engage with you, Rich?
GoldsteinPatentLaw.com is where you'd find resources to learn about the patent process. And I just highly encourage all entrepreneurs, including sellers, to learn about IP. Because entrepreneurs make poor decisions where they don't understand what they're even getting with IP. I see people applying for patents that they shouldn't be applying for, skipping the opportunity to do some simple, inexpensive things that would really benefit their business. So just learn about IP. That's my top advice.
Okay. Do you have any resources you can share?
Well, I have the
books.
Well, I have a book that the American Bar Association asked me to write the book to explain to entrepreneurs how patents work. It's called the ABA Consumer Guide to Obtaining a Patent.
ABA Consumer Guide to
Obtaining a Patent.
Obtaining a patent. Okay.
It's on Amazon. It's $20.
All right.
And if you read that, you'll be in the 99th percentile of how well you understand patents compared to other entrepreneurs. And it's probably about a 4-hour read. Okay. And it's written exactly as I speak. It literally is written in the same
plain
tone.
English.
Plain English.
We love it. Even a redneck like me can understand it, right? So ASGTG, New York, Brooklyn, 2023. An amazing event. So glad I ran into you, my friend.
So glad I ran into you too,
Have
Shawn.
a great show, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.